A very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. We are looking up to the Karnataka Assembly Elections 2023 and the Yediyurappa factor, 80 not out. That's going to be our focus for the next couple of minutes. The Karnataka Assembly Elections are right around the corner. And even as the last-minute nominations are being filed and parties gear up to campaign, as star campaigners' lists are coming out one by one, one name that is synonymous with power in Karnataka can't be overlooked. B.S. Yediyurappa, the man who had made BJP a force to be reckoned with, pushed forth as a strong Lingayat leader that is pro-farmer and pro-welfare. He was first elected to the lower house of the Karnataka legislature in the year 1983 and has since represented the Shikaripura constituency 6 times, one of the few that managed to break through the Congress dominance and has since then never looked back. 4-time Karnataka Chief Minister and a true architect of Operation Lotus in Karnataka. The BJP has a rigid rule, an age limit, if you will, of service. At 75, you're expected to retire. Margdarshak Mandal, chill out at the retirement home. But in Yediyurappa's case, and that's how important he is, BSY had to be pulled out of retirement to help the Bharatiya Janata Party get elected yet again. But he has created problems for the Saffron Party as well. First Chief Minister of Karnataka that went to jail with his son in the fray. Questions on nepotism, something the BJP says it is truly against, has also bothered the seasoned politician. But is Lingayat factor going to be enough? Has his sway and power in state politics diminished? Or is he but necessary, the most important link in the chain to ensure the lotus blossoms in Karnataka? We'll talk more about this. We have the man behind the story, also some experts and political analysts that are joining us here on the broadcast. But before that, a short snippet of the documentary that News9 Plus has put out for everybody's consumption. It's called 80 Not Out. Take a look at that particular snippet and we'll get back for more discussion. If you are 75 and a BJP leader, chances are you'll join the veterans at the Margdarshak Mandal, a retirement home. But when it comes to B.S. Yediyurappa, the BJP pulled him out of retirement to lead the party in the 2023 Karnataka Assembly elections.
Age has nothing to do with Yediyurappa ji.
The first Chief Minister to go to prison, no?
Whether you like him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
As election frenzy grips Karnataka, the 4-time Chief Minister is someone the BJP can't do without if it wants to retain power. The man whose hand Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding is B.S. Yediyurappa.
येदियुरप्पा जी ने अभी पिछले हफ्ते कर्नाटका असेंबली में जो भाषण दिया वो सार्वजनिक जीवन जीने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के लिए प्रेरणा है। हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी येदियुरप्पा जी का ये भाषण, उनका जीवन हमेशा हमेशा प्रेरणा देने वाला है।
It sent a strong message that central leaders are still with Yediyurappa. Congress was shedding tears that Yediyurappa is written off, you know. So the BJP Delhi leaders didn't want to give that impression. So they went to Shivamogga. They held his hand to show that we are with Lingayats.
Yediyurappa ji is known for hard work. Yediyurappa ji is known for commitment. Yediyurappa ji is man of words. This is how people of Karnataka recognize Yediyurappa ji. His simplicity and his humbleness. Whether he is in power or not in power, it doesn't matter to Yediyurappa ji.
People say Yediyurappa is a liability to the BJP. At the same time, BJP is not really in a position to continue its politics without Yediyurappa. See, Yediyurappa, whether you like him or hate him, you can't ignore him because his roots are very strong in the community.
He never dreamt that he will become an MLA or a minister. He never dreamt all this. But he always fought for people's cause. He always fought for farmers' issue. He always stood with poor people, and that's been his strength also. BJP was earlier known as an urban-based party in Karnataka. It's because of Yediyurappa's efforts, party is able to reach in every villages in the state of Karnataka.
1983 was a watershed in Karnataka politics. The first time the Congress continuous rule from 1956 to 83 was broken. That time, many people got elected from other than Congress, and one of them was Yediyurappa. And he never looked back thereafter.
So other cutting edge and incisive analysis on documentaries on the News9 Plus application. You can download it by the Apple App Store and on the Google Play Store as well. Now joining us on the broadcast is Mohammad Wajiullah, special correspondent for News9 Plus and the man behind this journalistic endeavor. Also with us is Professor Chambi Puranik, political analyst, and Dr. Basavaraj Itnal, senior journalist. Many thanks for joining us, gentlemen. You know, Vaji, I'm going to come to you first and foremost. You're in Karnataka, and we're looking towards the Karnataka Assembly elections. What is it that you're picking up on the ground? Really, huge voices on the documentary as well, and really, historic visuals from ever since Yediyurappa began his political career as well. To all the youngsters out there, such a great piece of documentary for them to consume. But what is it that you're seeing on the ground? His sway, what it was, what it is right now. Can the BJP do without Yediyurappa? There was this line in the documentary. It says, like him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
Well, that's the exact fact about Yediyurappa when it comes to Karnataka, because if you see in the southern states of India, you will not find BJP anywhere, but it's only in Karnataka where you will find BJP. And the reason why we have BJP here is because of Yediyurappa. In 1983, when Congress lost its continuous power, it was there was one seat that was elected from the BJP, and that was Yediyurappa. And since then, he's single-handedly led the party to the single largest majority in the state. So he's one of them who is responsible for building BJP in Karnataka. There is Anant Kumar also, there is other leaders also, Ishwarappa also. But the main face behind everything has been Yediyurappa. So that has been his political past, and that is one of the reasons why he has very strong roots within the community. Apart from that, you also, the other reason that Yediyurappa is still relevant is because BJP has failed to have a second line of leaders, and that is something that has that is something because of which Yediyurappa has been called back. If you remember when he had retired a few months back, it was Modi ji who came to inaugurate the Shimoga airport, and he held his hand, which giving a sign saying that we still want you to lead us. And yesterday, if we come to yesterday, close to 25 Lingayat leaders came and met Yediyurappa, despite knowing that he's not in electoral politics. Instead of meeting Basavaraj Bommai, they went and met him and told him that if you choose Lingayat CM pace, we will still continue to back you. So that clearly gives you the clout that Yediyurappa carries.
Absolutely. Professor Chambi Puranik, would you like to echo on what my colleague Wajiullah here is talking about? Do you resonate with what he has to say? He's looking at it on the ground. Such an iconic photograph that he's talking about. You know, Prime Minister holding the hand of Yediyurappa, 80 not out. That's the name of the documentary as well. Somebody who's been pulled out of retirement. All these other, elderly veteran politicians from the BJP that are above the age of 75, he certainly made those heads turn, hasn't he?
Definitely. I agree with our journalist friend who has observed Mr. Yediyurappa much more critically than anybody else. But as an academic and a professor of political science, I have also been seeing
I'm sure, Professor Puranik.
I know last 55 years. And I've seen him as MLA when he was loner, going along with Mr. B.D. Shivappa and many others, building the party, the erstwhile Jansangh and all that. So from there onwards, from a grassroots level politician, he has tried to, reach the level of Vidhan Sabha, capturing power and all that. Though the career has been checkered, and many of the allegations that were there, they sullied his image as a statesman. Otherwise, he is a statesman material. There is no doubt about it. Like that, there will be allegations and cases against anybody. For that matter, Mr. Yediyurappa has to face it, and the law will take its own course. That apart, that's the one thing that is repeatedly said, that he went to jail and all that. Even many other top leaders have gone to jail and acquitted or confirmed their sentence or whatever it is. It is their fate. But from the point of view of Karnataka politics and per se, the emergence of BJP as a ruling party, I think contribution of Mr. Yediyurappa is, mammoth. He is the tallest leader. If you recall the entire saga, the history of 40 years, the struggle that he has made, more than the kind of contributions that he has made and all that. So that is something which I think historians or even the contemporary people who assess the role of Yediyurappa after 80, even before 80, he was relevant. It's a rare gesture, as you mentioned, or our journalist friend mentioned, in hand, hugging him in public. The kind of optics, for example, Prime Minister Modi showered on him. That's a very rare gesture. Perhaps Modi himself, he would not do it to anybody else. So same thing with Mr. Amit Shah also, when he met him in breakfast session to rejuvenate the party and all that. All that shows the party still depends on it. The problem with BJP is they have never tried second-line leadership or a group of people who can carry the party beyond the Lingayat community base or support, which is still strong and very, very relevant also. Why? Because they went on with different type of experiments. Because BJP has never got a simple majority of 113, even today also. So sometimes they have come up to, the best was 2008, when they reached the 110. But afterwards, the party could have improved upon. And those three deputy chief ministers experiment which the party did in Karnataka, it failed miserably. And one of the deputy chief ministers, now he has migrated to Congress. That means to say, a broad-based BJP as a party with a different agenda or a different kind of approach to uplift the people of Karnataka and give them a better governance as compared to the allegations they make against Congress and all that. Because Congress has ruled the state for more than 55 years. But beyond that, Congress has also damaged its own credibility by its own lapses and corruption charges, etc., because things have not improved from what they were. You won't see any office or any kind of agency or where power is distributed, including BBMP and PWD or Excise Department. There is corruption. There is corruption. That is a continuum. It is not that BJP or Yediyurappa himself promoted or tolerated. It is there. So this bureaucratic nexus with the politicians or the kind of vested interest that they are there. I think this particular thing has been not been tackled by BJP.
All right. No, certainly pertinent points. I mean, that's the reason why the Congress Party's major poll plank is to do away with the 40% Sarkara Commission Sarkara, beg your pardon, and the PCM scam and the campaign that the Congress Party ran as well. Dr. Itnal, I remember speaking to you before Yediyurappa had stepped down, after Yediyurappa had stepped down, and of course last time when the entire electronic city became like an entire river because of the floods. But take a look at this, 2 years and still somebody like B.S. Yediyurappa is still making the headlines even after retiring, even after stepping down. But the major question, and something that Professor Puranik was also pointing out towards, the Lingayat factor. If you do away with the Lingayat factor, what's so special about B.S. Yediyurappa then?
See, Yediyurappa became a Lingayat factor after BJP came into reckoning in Karnataka political history. That Lingayat factor was not very significant till Yediyurappa emerged as the force to reckon with. Number one. Number two, if you look at recent elections, right from the first stint of Yediyurappa as chief minister, in every election, the party tries to, shrug off this Lingayat factor. They don't want, every time BJP tries to be seen as a party beyond all this identity politics. But eventually what happens is they end up doing the same thing. For example, in 2008 when Yediyurappa becomes chief minister, in 2013, because of various allegations and he formed KJP, suddenly the Lingayat vote share in North Karnataka, in Mumbai, Karnataka, it went down by 10%, and in Hyderabad, Karnataka, went down by 8%. Vote share of Lingayats in assembly. And the seat share went drastically down, and they lost it. And again in 2017, again, they were trying to sideline Yediyurappa again. They were trying to, put him in Margdarshak then only. But what happened as a reaction to Congress supported Lingayat movement, this movement for separate Lingayat identity, that triggered them to counter that movement by again projecting Yediyurappa as the face. And now what has happened in 2023, what has happened? Right now, the senior leaders like Saudi and Shatter have gone. Now they have to salvage Lingayat vote base. Now Yediyurappa, that is what is my observation. Election by election, Yediyurappa becomes more and more inevitable for BJP. And what a stint Yediyurappa had, 80 years, and he has so full of energy, And there is only another politician who comes to his level of ground level support and mass leadership. That is Deve Gowda. One is Vokkaliga, another is Lingayat. So that also is a comment on Karnataka's politics. Vokkaligas and Lingayats.
Right.
And Lingayats essentially from north, Vokkaligas essentially from the south.
Absolutely. Vocaligas and Lingayats, both the communities that the Bharatiya Janata Party has already tried to woo this time around with the quota rejig that has already happened. Going back to my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah. Waji, when you were reporting on this particular story, and I know that somebody like B.S. Yediyurappa, the name in itself is synonymous with power on the ground in Karnataka. What are some of the interesting findings, something that you were shocked to hear and listen as well, some mind-boggling facts about the man, the myth himself, B.S. Yediyurappa?
When I spoke to one of the bureaucrats of Yediyurappa, who was with him when he was in power, so he told me that Yediyurappa would get up regularly at around 5:36. He stays in a place called Dollars Colony, and right opposite that place is the apartment where there's a park. He would get up at the morning, 6:30, he would take a walk over there, walk around, and these bureaucrats would also walk around and have a morning walk, because he would be asking them questions on what is happening through the day. I also remember during my stint as a reporter, I would get up at 6 in the morning and go to his house, because while he would be coming back from that place, I would get an exclusive reaction from Yediyurappa. So the whole fact about Yediyurappa that I have heard from everybody, he's the most hardworking politician that Karnataka has seen. One reason, because he developed the party from 1 to single largest majority. The other reason is, like Mr. Sir said, that apart from Deve Gowda, he's the tallest. Imagine Deve Gowda at 89 is moving out, Yediyurappa at 80 is moving out. And if we now look at the Ahinda community, then you have Siddaramaiah for them. So all the three of them are mass leaders, and all the three of them have that same level of resonance with power when it comes to Karnataka. So these people have kept themselves interesting in the state. His own son had so much to say about him. The only thing that they all regret is the fact that he did not complete a single term, though he's the four-time chief minister. He's never been able to complete a single term, and that is one of the biggest disappointing factors that the BJP feels, that yes, one of their leaders could not complete a term. So his life has always been interesting. He used to work, he used to move around in a cycle, take the BMTC buses to places. He used to go to these different mutts, gymkhanas, because BJP did not have an ecosystem in Karnataka. And that ecosystem was built by Yediyurappa. If you remember, when after Jansangh, when the BJP came, BJP was known as a Brahmin party, an upper elite party, an urban-based party. It was Yediyurappa who went to these villages, went down south, and made people believe that no, we are not just urban-based party, we are not a Brahminical party, we are a party for everybody. And after how Virendra Patel of the Congress was ignored by the High Command, the Lingayats felt that, okay, they've been betrayed by the Congress, and Yediyurappa cashed in on that. There was a vacuum which Yediyurappa filled, and since then he's not allowed anybody to take that place. And that is why BJP is also suffering, because they've not been able to build that second line of leadership. and they always keep coming back to Yediyurappa, whatever the situation comes.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to again urge the audience and the viewers to go check the documentary out, because those visuals of somebody like B.S. Yediyurappa on the bicycle, today you'd see him moving around in, you know, fancy cavalcades, but simplicity of the man and hard work that he has put in on the ground is something that, well, Vajji can't stop talking about at the moment. Professor Puranik, it hasn't all been hunky and dory for B.S. Yediyurappa as well. Graft allegations, went to jail as well, had to step down. Many also, you know, expounding that he did not really want to step down, but was made to step down as well. So, you know, a lot of problems over here as well. And nepotism with his own son now in the BJP fray as well. B.Y. Vijendra, his bites are also part of that documentary. He talks, you know, really highly of his father and says that it's my own work that the party is, you know, has looked, and that's why I'm here in the party fray. Not because my father, you know, he holds that kind of power and sway when it comes to Karnataka politics. But what's your viewpoint? It hasn't been all hunky-dory for him. A couple of challenges that he's put out for the BJP as well in his time.
Yeah, Mr. Yediyurappa has gone through these kind of challenges, you know, as a seasoned leader. He knows that BJP, as our friend said, you know, earlier it was an elitist party, and he made it open for everybody, including farmers, agriculturists, and apart from Lingaites, you know, even non-Lingaites, you know, he's following among non-Lingaites, I think it's rated high, you know, better than Siddaramaiah and Mr. Devegowda, when you really go and ask the people. As you, I mean, have you been benefited by Mr. Yediyurappa's government as chief minister or a person who he has created number of nigamas, you know, the kind of boards which will take care of every community. You name any community, it is there. So I think it's a brainchild of, and Bhagyalakshmi, for the sake of girl child, you know, he has prepared that kind of investment which will mature and see that the children, you know, especially the girl children, girl child, they are given that kind of support and all. Those sustenance, you know. He, as I said, he has all qualities of a statesman, but his Achilles heel was from his own family. You know, that's unfortunate. You know, this has been the bane of not only Yediyurappa but BJP also. Apart from BJP, inner rivalry and all the groupism and all that, I think Yediyurappa is one person who is not bothered about such groupism, etc. Except that he said it was a blunder on his part to have left the party and taken away a chunk of 9 to 10% votes of Lingaites or BJP voters per se and all that. So therefore, Yediyurappa knows, you know, in real terms, he has a mass connection and he is such a towering personality. Even now, at the age of 80, he is relevant to BJP. Perhaps, you know, BJP should take him into confidence to prepare for second line of leadership, not in some kind of groupism or the kind of cliques that are there. So the BJP's problem is, see, except Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi, I don't think anybody trusts Yediyurappa as deeply as they are doing. They know the pulse of it. That's why I said the optics of Amit Shah, you want to please him that we will take care of your son and you give him the bouquet and let it hand over to me. You know, all that shows that we will take care of your son, but please help BJP at this time. I think this message has gone across to not only Lingaites, even for other communities also. They know that BJP has a kind of an edge over other parties in this. But recently, the denial of ticket to another very important figure, you know, another even charismatic, though he is not in such a big impact and all that, Jagdish Shettar, he has a very clean image, perhaps better than the image of Mr. Yediyurappa. But why did you deny him a ticket? Is it because of age or is it because of some other reason? Many things. But taking Mr. Jagdish Shettar's statements as a face value, we should say that he has been humiliated. And that particular thing, I don't think even Mr. Yediyurappa can control the damage. It's very difficult. So they were about to reach that magic mark, you know, maybe 110 or 109 hours. But now it is reduced. And who gets the benefit? It is not the Congress which gets the benefit, which has given seat to Mr. Jagdish Shettar. It is likely that JDS will take advantage of it. That's why I said in our previous discussion with you, the BGS, earlier it was between 28 to 30. Now it is 30 to 35 seats and all that. They are calculating like that. And that itself shows that Mr. Yediyurappa's personality is so inescapable or inevitable that BJP has to do some damage control with the cooperation of Yediyurappa. You see, some of the leaders like Chitti Ravi and many others, including D.L. Santosh and all that, they want to show Karnataka, they don't depend on Yediyurappa or his son or Lingayat community. I think that kind of strategic mistake, if they do in 2023, it will have a very serious impact in 2024 Lok Sabha elections also. That's why Modi and Amit Shah know that Mr. Yediyurappa he is relevant not only for this election, even to reach that kind of number, but also the largest party, whatever status. But even in 2024 Lok Sabha, last time
Professor
25
Puranik,
seats for one,
you'll ask other 75 plus BJP leaders and they'll tell you they'd be happy with not getting a ticket to the Margdarshak Mandal and not getting a ticket to fight or contest the elections. But, we're running out of time here. Dr. Basavaraj Itnal, a two-edged question for you over here. Number one, about the political vacuum. I mean, of course, it boils down to these top leaders that Vajji was talking about. You've got Siddaramaiah, you've got Deve Gowda, and you've got B.S. Yediyurappa. The kind of responsibility on their shoulders as well to make sure that there is not a lot of political vacuum, leadership vacuum once they vacate the particular scenario. And also, B.S. Yediyurappa, he came, he saw, he conquered, he's done it all, he's done it for the BJP, he's done it for himself, but a couple of complications as well. Take a look at how smartly he's playing this. Last year around, all anybody could talk about when it came to Karnataka was the hijab issue. It was either Allahu Akbar versus the Jai Shri Ram chants. And we've got somebody like B.S. Yediyurappa who has gone against the entire Bomai dispensation, saying that I don't want hijab, halal kind of controversies. This is not something that we should deal with. So do touch upon the smart politics that he's played, shifting the urban vote base to the rural vote base. And what about the responsibility on tall leaders, in this particular case, B.S. Yediyurappa, about making sure that the leadership vacuum does not go on for a very long time after they've vacated the scenario?
The points that you raised are the very points why Yediyurappa is acceptable to all. In a party that has Yogi Aditya Yoginath, Yogi Adityanath with them, or Amit Shah with them, in the same party we have Yediyurappa, who tells a media person last year during the COVID situation, when the Tablighi Jamaat issue was being discussed all over the country, he warns on camera a senior journalist that if you start spreading these rumors on a minority community, I will file cases on you as a media person and a media organization. And yesterday only again Yediyurappa reiterated that BJP leaders should not be talking about hijab or halal issues in the elections. So that's what makes him acceptable to all. At the same time, he has support of the Sangh Parivar, and also he's acceptable to other end of the spectrum of ideology. So that's what makes him acceptable. You just mentioned, listed three leaders: Deve Gowda, Siddaramaiah, and Yediyurappa. This is one common element among all these leaders. They are acceptable to each and every community. They are not communal. They may be in different parties. One may be in so-called secular party, another may be so-called accusedly or allegedly a pro-minority party, or one may be in a communal party. But as leaders, as the politics tells you, they are not communal per se. They are acceptable to everybody. That is the good thing about Yediyurappa. And some time ago, Professor Puranik was mentioning that party did not cultivate second line of leadership. For that, there are various explanations. In fact, certain blame has to be placed on Yediyurappa himself, because he did not want any competing power centers. Be it BP Shoppa, be it Baba Gowda Patil from Nargund. These were potential leaders, but he did not want any alternative power centers. So he did that. That's politics. That's there everywhere. That's there in JDS. That's there in Congress. That is there. But again, another interesting factor here is on the count of same communalism and this Hindu-Muslim issues. His predecessor in the party, BP Shoppa, before BP Shoppa, there was a gentleman called A.K. Subbaiah, who was president of BJP. He wrote an entire book, countering the whole narrative of RSS. Whereas Yediyurappa is a man who can still be there and not be there. He can still be there, but not take it to the extremes. So that is his beauty. And coming back to today's situation, what is happening post Jagdishwar and post some of the episodes.
Right.
Right now, like Professor Puranik was telling, Yediyurappa is very, very inevitable, extremely inevitable, because if you look at 2018 numbers, in terms of percentile vote share between Congress and BJP, the difference is only 4%, both in Bombay, Karnataka, as well as in Hyderabad, Karnataka.
Well, so,
The difference of vote share is only 4%.
taking a look at the contemporary politics that is playing out in front of us, I've completely run out of time. There's one question and I need a yes or no. You can also go with a maybe, Dr. Itnal. Do you think Yediyurappa can win it for the BJP this time around with the inevitability, the Lakshman Savadi, the Jagdish Shetty?
Very unlikely, very unlikely.
All right. I'm going to take the same question very quickly to Professor Puranik. Professor Puranik, what do you think? Is the Yediyurappa factor going to work out for the BJP this time around?
Before the resignation of Jagdish Shetty and even Lakshman Savadi, whatever may be there, they are people who can swing votes in favor of BJP in central Karnataka, North Karnataka, and even to some extent in Hyderabad, Karnataka. I think it has become a tough challenge for BJP, including Yediyurappa, to see that that particular number is reached. But Yediyurappa may, as his gift, the parting gift to BJP, he may bring it as the largest seats or the party which has got largest.
But winning is questionable at this point in time. Well, it has been a riveting conversation. Professor Puranik and Dr. Itnal, many thanks for joining with us. Vajji, I'm going to let you off the hook as well. I know you're in the grind. It is election season in Karnataka. We're going to keep coming back to you for all the latest from ground zero. On that note, that's the end of this episode. Do check out 80 Not Out for all the youngsters out there as well. It tells us about our own politicians back in the day, some black and white images. You'll get to know a little bit about history, a little bit about the politics of the state of Karnataka as well. And of course, the man whose name is synonymous with power, B.S. Yediyurappa. 80 Not Out. Do check it out on the News9 Plus application. We're going to leave you with the snippet of the documentary. Don't go anywhere. Content continues on News9 Live. If you are 75 and a BJP leader, chances are you'll join the veterans at the Margdarshak Mandal, a retirement home. But when it comes to B.S. Yediyurappa, the BJP pulled him out of retirement to lead the party in the 2023 Karnataka Assembly elections.
Age has nothing to do with Yediyurappa ji.
The first chief minister to go to prison, no?
Whether you like him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
As election frenzy grips Karnataka, the four-time chief minister is someone the BJP can't do without if it wants to retain power. The man whose hand Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding is B.S. Yediyurappa.
येदियुरप्पा जी ने अभी पिछले हफ्ते कर्नाटका असेंबली में जो भाषण दिया, वो सार्वजनिक जीवन जीने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के लिए प्रेरणा है। हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी येदियुरप्पा जी का ये भाषण, उनका जीवन हमेशा हमेशा प्रेरणा देने वाला है।
It sent a strong message that central leaders are still with Yediyurappa. Congress was shedding tears that Yediyurappa is written off, So the BJP Delhi leaders didn't want to give that impression. So they went to Shumaga. They held his hand to show that we are with Lingayats.
Yediyurappa ji is known for hard work. Yediyurappa ji is known for commitment. Yediyurappa ji is man of words. This is how people of Karnataka recognize Yediyurappa ji. His simplicity and his humbleness. Whether he is in power or not in power, it doesn't matter to Yediyurappa ji.
People say Yediyurappa is a liability to the BJP. At the same time, BJP is not really in a position to continue its politics without Yediyurappa. See, Yediyurappa, whether you like him or hate him, you can't ignore him because his roots are very strong in the community.
He never dreamt that he will become an MLA or a minister never dreamt all this. But he always fought for people's cause. He always fought for farmers' issue. He always stood with poor people, and that's been his strength also. BJP was earlier known as an urban-based party in Karnataka. It's because of Yediyurappa's efforts, party is able to reach in every villages in the state of Karnataka.
1983 was a watershed in Karnataka politics. The first time the Congress continuous rule from 1956 to 83 was broken. That time, many people got elected from other than Congress, and one of them was Yediyurappa. And he never looked back thereafter.